You know, have you ever tasted something that just felt like a story? I mean, a flavor so powerful, it carries the entire history of a people with it. Well, today, we're diving into Armenian Sujuk. And let me tell you, this is so much more than just a meal. It's like a homeland on a plate.
And our story really kicks off with this incredibly warm invitation from a woman named Grandma Ani. But listen, this isn't just an invitation into her home. No, it's an invitation into a story, one that stretches across generations, across borders, and it all starts with one single, unforgettable scent.
So our guide on this journey is a young man named Samer. He's a Syrian refugee trying to find his place in Beirut. And one day, just walking through a cold alley, he's completely stopped in his tracks by this aroma. It's something he's never smelled before. It's sharp, it's warm, and it's just completely captivating.
So yeah, this mysterious scent, it's the start of everything. It literally leads him right to Grandma Ani's door, where a simple meal is about to change his entire world.
Okay, so picture this. She serves him these sizzling dark red discs of sujuk with some eggs. And that first bite? Wow, it's a total revelation. Just an explosion of heat and spice and what feels like history all hitting him at once. It's so powerful, he has to know. He turns to Grandma Ani and basically asks, how? How can this meat hold so much strength, so much warmth? And her answer, well, it isn't a recipe. It's a story. The story of our people's incredible resilience, and it starts centuries ago, way up in the harsh mountains of Armenia.
Right, so to really get this, we have to go way back. Sujuk wasn't invented for some fancy restaurant menu, not at all. It was born out of pure necessity. It was a tool for survival against the brutal, bitter cold.
Grandma Ani actually calls them red ingots. Think about that. Up in those high mountains, winter would just completely cut villages off from the rest of the world. So sujuk, it was this brilliant plan to preserve meat, to escape starvation. It was the only way to make sure families had food that wouldn't spoil during those long, long freezing months.
And the secret to all that strength? It's all in the spices. We're talking garlic, cumin, paprika. But here's the thing. These weren't just for flavor. Nope. Every single ingredient was chosen for its ability to generate warmth, to literally fight the frost from the inside out. It was like a culinary defense system against the elements.
But of course, the story of sujuk doesn't end in the mountains. It transforms from this tool for survival into something so much more profound. It becomes a portable piece of home.
You see, during the terrible times of forced displacement, when people had to leave literally everything behind, sujuk became their loyal companion. It was something they could take on that long, hard journey, a taste of the life they were forced to abandon. And its practicality was just essential. I mean, it's lightweight, and it doesn't spoil. Fathers could literally carry it in their pockets as they crossed borders. It was this small, vital piece of their heritage that provided both physical and spiritual nourishment.
And this part is just incredible. The scent itself became a kind of flag, an identity marker. When Armenian families would settle in new cities, places like Aleppo or Beirut, the aroma of sujuk hanging from their balconies would announce their presence. It was a sign to everyone that said, we're here and we have not forgotten who we are.
So how was this incredible food actually made? Well, the original process was basically a ritual. It was something deeply connected to the land itself, a kind of partnership between human hands and the natural elements. Okay, so first, they'd mix the meat with that secret blend of spices. Then, get this, it was pressed under heavy, smooth stones that they'd gathered from riverbeds. The whole point was to force out every last drop of air and moisture. And finally, they'd hang it out in the open, just letting the cold, dry mountain wind do all the work of curing. No machines, just stone and wind. Amazing.
And when you compare that to today's methods, wow, the contrast is stark. The stone pressing, that's been replaced by machines. The open-air curing, that now happens in refrigerators. What used to be a seasonal ritual has become a daily industrial process.
And yet, here's the crucial part. While all the methods have been modernized, the soul of the sujuk, that secret combination of spices passed down through generations, that remains completely untouched. The technology changes, but the taste, the very essence of its identity, endures.
You know, Grandma Ani has such a beautiful way of putting it. She says sujuk is like a tree. Its roots are old and as hard as stone, but its branches are renewed with every single generation. It's a perfect way to say that tradition isn't static, right? It's a living, breathing thing that grows from its past.
And you can totally see that evolution today. There are lighter versions now, made with chicken. It's become a breakfast staple, of course, with eggs. And it's even paired with other preserved meats like shawarma. The tradition is absolutely alive, and it's always adapting to new tastes.
So all of this brings us right back to where we started, with Samer, sitting there at Grandma Ani's table. And in that one single dish in front of him, all these layers of history, of survival, of innovation, they all just come together. And he has this really profound realization. It's like a light bulb goes off. He sees the sujuk not as just meat, but as a living being. Something that started as a simple survival tactic under a stone and evolved into a genuine art form, connecting a really difficult past with a vibrant present.
And this is Samer's big takeaway. As someone who has lost his own home, he finds a sense of one right there, in that shared meal. He recognizes his own story of displacement in the story of Sujuk. I mean, he came looking for food, and what he found was a homeland on a plate, a connection he so desperately needed. And really, that's the ultimate point of this whole story. It shows us that a shared flavor, a shared meal, can actually build a bridge between strangers. It can create a genuine sense of home and community for people who've been divided and displaced by suffering.
Which leaves us with the pretty powerful question, doesn't it? In a world that feels so divided, can a simple taste, a flavor, truly unite us? Well, the story of Sujuk seems to suggest that maybe, just maybe, some of the most profound connections we can find are waiting for us on a plate.